Millionaires of Reddit, how did you become so wealthy? In my 20s, I was a computer programmer. Just as the web started exploding in popularity, I could wire up websites and databases back when internet technologies were new and tooling was still primitive. I never hit it big with a viral website like Facebook or Amazon, but I did charge a lot for programming services. And I used that money to buy houses at first and ultimately an apartment building in coastal California. In my 40s now, I don't feel very wealthy really. Oddly, I still check prices when shopping, and I plan to drive my old Jeep until it dies. When I travel, I often pay to fly first class, and I do enjoy the nicer hotels. But, other than that, I live and spend rather simply. Always saved up a lot of money, 40% of my pay, and continually put it into stocks. Investment returns have outdone my savings for quite a while. Well, last year my fiance's grandparents won a stupid amount of money in the lotto, double-digit millions. They were generous enough to share with the family. I grew up below the poverty line, so my life is nuts RN. Edit, I'm a girl, for one. 2. I'm in fact choosing to do stuff with my life, as I'm not an idle person mooching off of a very lucky break. His money is placed in a trust and we have many financial advisors, and we are not cleared to buy anything without approval, and what we don't use is invested by the bank who runs the trust. I don't really care for advice, since I'm just reaping the rewards. So far, we bought my fiance's childhood home his father built, which is in one of the most sought after neighborhoods in my city, and we are loving the security we have as home winners. We took an amazing trip in June, where he proposed right on the banks of the River Ness in Inverness, Scotland. It was pretty magical guys. And no, my ring is not exorbitant. Having the money hasn't changed us as a couple, as we spent a year and a half living in a bachelor suite the size of a one-car garage and still love each other. So, at this point it's a done deal. We are together for good and are getting married next also. I signed a cohabitation agreement, but we agreed that I'm not signing a prenup and my name will be added to the title of the house after marriage, and the cohabitation agreement nullifies, making everything but the trust mine. So if in the highly unlikely case of divorce, I can go after him for half of everything but the trust, as it is owned by his grandparents, but he is beneficiary. Pretty nutty stuff, and I'm genuinely surprised they didn't force me into a prenup /view 200D. I enlisted in the army when I was 18. I liked it. I asked to become an officer, and they let me. The army sent me to college and I graduated. My officer pay was way higher, and in the army you don't have very many bills. I found I could save in between 1k and 5k every month of my life. After my second deployment I was sitting on about 200k. I hired a financial manager. He did well a few years. I've bought and rented out a couple houses. I've got 17 years in the army, creeping closer to a portfolio worth $2 million and a good pension in retirement. I'm about to make lieutenant colonel. I'm in my late 30s. Just grind and save. Edit, gold? Thanks. I should add that this job really sucks, and I hate it a lot of the time. But due to the peaks and valleys of monetary motivation I have to do it for a few more years. I live in Eastern Europe. In 1990 I took out a huge loan and bought 10 apartments and furnished them. I rent them out to people, and with the money I earn from them, I pay off the loan payments. I do this every 10 years. I have now 30 apartments and one employee who I pay to maintain them and make sure payments and maintenance is handled. The key is finding good tenants and maintaining a good relationship with them. It is not that hard, but a key to this strategy. I used to run an apple cart in New York City, would buy an apple for 5C and sell it for 10C. Did this for 20 years. Then my wife's father died and left us a chain of hotels. I sell overpriced consultancy time to CTOs who don't know any better. I'm on track of being a millionaire by just investing in my 401k. I started my career at 20 years old, right after graduating from college, and started investing the minimum to my 401k. Never really thought much of it until I did those calculators and realized that since I started so young, the compound interest on any investment account with a decent return would be huge. I would recommend you just put anything away. Everyone tells you to maximum your investments, but honestly not everyone can invest $18k a year. Do the math of how much $200 a month will grow in 30 years. This might not be the exact answer, but this will easily get you to be a millionaire at some point. I actually hit big at a casino a while back. Not enough where I can afford to quit my job and buy a mansion, but I'm comfy, and so will my son be. Parents died. Edit. If you're gonna make a Batman joke, just know that you're not at all clever, original, or funny. Through hard work and perseverance, I established a reputation for honesty and competence. I was slowly promoted to increasing positions of responsibility and remuneration. I saved prodigiously and invested wisely. I married well to someone with similar values. Being frugal. Not buying new cars. Not caring about what others think. Saving and investing and doing it again. Not making knee-jerk investments. Letting them ride long term, and not freaking out at every market correction. For me it was a slow game, but fun to watch it take off. We got some advice here for the UK. Lots of 401k talk, which isn't all that useful over here. Save and invest. 401k is just a vehicle, albeit a nice tax deferred vehicle, and has a maximum annual contribution of something like $18,000 anyway. Not me, but my family. My dad was piss poor as a kid because he was one of 5 kids to a single mother since my grandpa died when dad was like 11 or 12. Moved out at 17 after getting his HSC Aussie Sats. Went to work. Worked a lot. My dad's really smart, so he was good at what he did. Mum and dad weren't meant to be able to have kids, but when both of them were 40 they conceived me. Dad had just started his own business in the tech industry, but he believed in himself and the 2 mates he started the company with, and it boomed. Mum hasn't worked since I was born because she was taking care of me. When I went to school she started doing a lot of charity work. She fell pregnant again with my little brother, but he was stillborn when I was 3 years old, so I stayed an only child. This year both my parents turned 60 and my dad retired cause his businesses and was doing so well. We live in a nice house, but most of our money goes to charity anyway, since dad knows how it feels to have no money. What doesn't go to charity goes to family. I remember one year at Christmas dad gave his mum, my nana, and all 4 of his siblings $10,000 each, aka $50,000 in 1 year. I never asked for money. I got a job legally as soon as I could, 14 and 9 months, and I've worked ever since while attending school. I think my dad gave me good work ethics. They never spoiled me, even though they could have. I'm 21 now. I still live at home, uni, and just started my first full-time job, but I plan to move out when I find a place I can take my dog with me. So technically my mum and dad are millionaires. I'm not. It's not my money, and when mum and dad pass I'll probably divide it up among the family/charity. Going to a private high school taught me money doesn't buy you happiness, so I don't have any interest in keeping more than enough to be comfortable. I wouldn't have even thought about inheritance, but I was forced to cause my dad had 2 heart attacks this year, and his dad's dad both died of heart attacks in their 30s. Not that anyone cares, but he's doing way better now, a few stents in, and a lot of rehabilitation, and he's almost back to normal. Edit. I know I said I wasn't spoiled, but they did give me a car when I got my full license. Well, they didn't get me a new car. They bought a new one for themselves and said I could drive the old one and take it with me when I move out. So basically I was an 18-year-old driving a 3-year-old mid-range Lexus. I'm now a 21-year-old driving a 6-year-old mid-range Lexus. Most of my friends come from pretty poor areas, so I do get some looks when I'm in their neighborhoods. Or gum. Twice now someone has stuck gum on the inside of my door handles. What a hard life I lead. Not there yet, but getting there. STEM degree for both wife and second bag my lunch and drink from water fountain. I eat out with coworkers maybe once a month. Fill up my trusty clean canteen bottle daily with the free ice from cafeteria and water from the water fountain. In my lower 30s right now. Have a $500k house bought 2 years ago, about 40% paid off. Hope to pay it off completely well before I turn 40. Currently about $350k in bank between liquid and stocks. Currently driving a 9-year-old Scion. Wife has a 13-year-old Camry. Daughter's toys are from the thrift store. Haven't had cable TV ever. Love Costco and Walmart. Love looking at deal sites. That doesn't mean we do not enjoy life. We've been backpacking in Europe. Have visited Dubai, Bahamas, Bermuda, Puerto Rico, Vegas numerous times, Canada numerous times. Going to Cali in less than a month. My philosophy is this: you get rich by acting poor in things that really don't please your heart. We like traveling, so we do that. I like photography, so I have a DSLR. Wife likes nail polish, so she has like a big box full of them. I don't care much about food, so I bag it and we rarely eat out. Same with our cars. Live simply. Invest and spend wisely. Love unconditionally. Be willing to move anywhere for your job. Most big companies are looking for competent people who can go where they need them. Be that person and the money follows effortless.